What's up, everybody? So today was an awesome day. I got my PPF kit in the mail about 2 days ago. So today we went up to the shop. I prepped the front end. It was a partial frontal, so that's a portion of the hood, a portion of the quarter panel, the whole bumper, the headlights. It was a learning experience. I had a blast all day. It was fun. My wife and myself, we were working together, took our time, went slow. There's definitely a learning curve, um, especially with some of the folds when you have to fold the PPF around a bumper, or if it curves around something. Um, the next vehicle I do, which is going to be my wife's, it's going to be a lot better. It's going to be uh, a lot better because I'm learning on my truck some very crucial skills about squeegeeing the water out, how to squeegee it out, which direction is the best, how to lay it down, where do you start from the middle, do you work out? There's a lot of things that I learned today, but it was worth it. The kit was just under $400 for the XPEL Ultimate front partial pre-cut. So yeah, it was great. I had a blast today. I'm going to get it down first. So a lot of people say that vinyl wrapping is a lot easier than PPF. This, at first it seemed hard, but at the end of the day, the last few panels that I was doing, they went on fast, they went on easy, and they went on right. So that tells me from this point going forward on the next vehicles, I'm going to do at least 3 more before I add it into the services that I offer. On the next vehicle, I should have a pretty good idea of whether or not I only needed to do one or two more vehicles before I could add it to the services. But it has been great. It's been awesome. PPF, again, we use the XPEL Ultimate pre-cut from a website. If you guys want that information, just leave a comment. Yeah, it was great. It was fun. I had an honest blast. So in the past couple weeks, even the ceramic coatings, the paint corrections, the interior, it's all been kind of like work a little bit. But today was pure fun. It's not a professional install. Part of it looks horrible. Part of it looks good. The last few panels, they look great. They look perfect. But it's a learning experience, and it was great. It was the best thing I could ever recommend you guys before you take a PPF class is to buy a kit like I got and put it on your own vehicle. That way you have some learning knowledge. So when you go to these classes, you're already advanced to the point where you ask the right questions, where you know what you need to ask them and what you need to learn how to do, rather than go in there cold and have no idea and have never touched PPF. For me, myself, I'm going to do 3-4 cars, and at that point, I'm going to make the decision on whether I want to go to a class or not. I actually have the number one detail shop, I would say, in Tennessee. It's Finishing Touch. I've been talking to him over the past couple days. Great guy. I was intimidated on reaching out to this gentleman because he's so high up there. He's the shop that I looked at and said, I want to be like him. So I never did make that phone call to him. I was just intimidated by it. I didn't think he'd want to really have anything to do with me. I'm a little guy. Who am I? I'm nobody. But he, on a wrap page, PPF a vinyl wrap page, he messaged me. I didn't even know who he was. And then my wife pointed out, hey, that guy owns Finishing Touch. So, yeah, we got that, a working relationship with all these other shops. There's another SBX, SGB. There's another shop in Knoxville. I've looked into him too. I've never heard of him, but after looking into him, he does very well. Both of these guys reached out to me and they say, hey, man, you want to come by the shop? I'll show you how to. So it's awesome. Don't be afraid to ask other shops in your area for a crash course, whether it takes 30 minutes or whether you want to sit all day and watch these guys and work and help them, be involved. Actually, you'd be free labor, but really you're getting way more in an education by helping these guys that know what they're doing, and they could tell you what you're doing wrong. So no, I don't think I'm going to go to class. I think I'm going to try on these 3 or 4 vehicles, and at that point, and I still need to go down to the finishing touch and just have him, because he was wanting to show me how to pull it and stretch it around certain items, and I think he works more with bulk than pre-cut, which bulk is, after looking into it, bulk is the way to go. So I'm going to order a bulk roll of Lamar Valor. It is a ceramic coated PPF, so it's hydrophobic on the exterior. It's 6 mils thick. It's their top of the line PPF. It's I would say, and it's self-healing. I would say it's on par with XPEL and 3D Pro, or 3M Pro. I don't know much about PPF, but I'm starting to learn a lot. So I believe that this Valor is right up there with that kind of quality. But yeah, it's just, I had a really fun day, and I can't even tell you how good of a mood I am, just for the fact that the owner of the shop that I looked at, his shop was the one that I looked at that made me quit my job. It was him. It was his shop. I seen the cars he was doing, the amount of cars that he was doing, the kind of cars that he was doing. He does almost nothing but high-end. I mean, he does, dualies and, Denalis. I got a Denali sitting out there, but he does a lot of high-end, like Lamborghinis, Ferraris. I've done a couple of Porsches. I've done a brand new Corvette, but he does them consistently. And I know what I make off those cars that I did, and he's doing them every single day. So when I made the decision, I already knew how much he's making. Like, just an average. I'm like, holy cats, that's a great living. But other than the money, I love this. This has been a blast today. But yeah, so just don't be afraid to. There's two things in this video. I encourage you to buy a pre-cut kit, learn on your car, and then go to class. Or if you feel confident enough, like I hope I do, after a couple vehicles, you go that route. And then I also encourage you to reach out to people in the area that are better than you, that are where you want to be. Reach out and say, hey, I'm so-and-so. I own this business. I just want to introduce myself because I look at you as an inspiration. I look at you because I want to be like you or better than you eventually. And they will respect that if you tell, hey, man, I want to be better than you. That people will respect that, because it's all about becoming better, even for him. For people like the guy, the finishing touch, he's in competition with nobody but himself. Himself yesterday is the only person he needs to beat. He's at the top of the food chain. He doesn't have to compete with anybody but himself. And, if we all have that mindset of not worrying about who's doing what cars, how come he's got more cars, and all that, if we start worrying about beating ourselves from yesterday, today being better than we were yesterday, that's when your customers will see an improvement in your work, and that's when you become someone like, the finishing touch, just high end and doing everything. And I'm on the path. I am on the path. I do wet sanding, ceramic coatings, full correction. So that's the wet sanding, full interiors, engine bays, metal polishing. I hate metal polishing, but I'm good at it. I charge a lot for it because I hate doing it, but all my customers really love the outcome of the work. So yeah, metal polishing. Now I'm getting into the PPF, vinyl wrap, window tinting. I'm gonna do everything. If you go in this with the mentality that, oh, I only want to do ceramic coatings and 1-step or 2-step corrections, not even a real correction, you're wet sanding. But we still call it a correction anyway. If you go in this with the mentality of, I'm only going to do 1 or 2 things, you're going to limit yourself dramatically. I am opening a whole different door to different businesses, from the Ford dealership, Mercedes, everything down the road here. I could go and offer these kind of services. They do purchase. They absolutely will purchase PPF, and they'll bake it into the sale for a customer, because that is a common thing that is asked for, and especially if it's done right and it's got a full coverage and not just the little sections of the high impact areas. If you're covering the whole front end, it's you're opening a lot of doors if you expand what you do. After I get the PPF done, I'm then going to attack vinyl. And from what I hear, vinyl is a lot easier than PPF. So if I get PPF knocked down and I'm good at it, then vinyl is going to be cake. Window tinting, my wife's going to do. I don't want no part of it, to be honest. So she's going to do that. And I know it goes back on what I just said, you know, don't limit yourself. Well, my wife is a co-owner of the business. She actually is the majority owner of the business. So that part is covered under her, the window tinting. I don't have a still hand, and I don't think I'll be good at it. I'll give it a try, but I really just don't see myself being good at it. I'm going to give it a try, though. Yeah, just don't limit yourself. Expand. Keep learning. Always learn. You're never good enough. Always be better than the person you were yesterday. And reach out to those you want to be like, those who inspire you, those who, you know, secretly inspire you. You look at some people and you're like, oh man, I want to be like him. You know, how do I get there? You know, I have a foggy image of the road that is going to lead me to being like Finishing Touch, and every day that foggy image is a little bit more clear every day. So I know what direction I'm going. So you guys need to find the direction that you're wanting to go. What do you want to be? Do you want to do it all? Do you want to do one thing, two things? Just know if you only want to do one or two, you're limiting yourself dramatically. So expand your knowledge, expand your skill set, do boats, do real paint corrections, wet sand, pick up some panels from some body shops that are scratched up and sand them down until there's no clear coat. That way you have a good idea of how much sanding you can do. Take a measurement and then sand it until it's, through the clear coat. That way you know that it's going to take this much to go all the way through the clear coat. I mean, that's what I did. It's a good thing to do. Burn panels on purpose. If you get a junk panel from a junkyard or a body shop, we're friends with the body shop down the road, so they give us panels. But go ahead and burn them. Burn it on purpose. That way you know what it's going to take, where that danger limit is. Educate yourself. Educate yourself. You don't have to go to school and go to class and, do this and that to educate yourself. You can do it the smart way. Get a panel, whatever, PPF. PPF a damn panel from the junkyard, okay? That might be what I'm limited to, but I'm not. I have 4 cars that I could do that is mine and my family members that they're not going to care, because I'll peel it off and I'll polish it and coat it if it's junk, So don't limit yourself. Educate yourself and just take the risk, Learn as much as you can. That's my advice for today. But I'm nobody. I don't know shit. I've only been in business for a year. Made $130,000 in 8 months. This year I'm on track for $200,000, and it's just me and my wife. But I really don't know shit. And that's no bullshit. It's all God. That's how I got lucky enough to be as successful as I am. I reach out to my mentors. I have a lot of faith in God. I believe that has a lot to do with it, but I'm not going to push religion on you. I was an atheist for 23 years out of my life until I overdosed and died. So let's hope it doesn't take you guys overdosing and dying to realize that God's real. But anyway, with that being said, I will end this ranting video. You guys have a good one.